Hi, good evening everyone. We'll start the session now. Last session, I explained about the course content, what are the topics we are going to cover in the Selenium. Now today, we are going to see the first topic in automation testing. That is Introduction to Automation Testing. Introduction to Automation Testing. So first, what are the concepts we are going to cover here is what is software testing. First also explain is what is manual testing, what is an automation testing. After that, we are going to discuss about the project selection criteria for automation testing. So how they decide which projects we can go for automation testing. There's a project selection criteria for automation testing. Then automation tool selection criteria. How they decide which tool we can use for automation testing. Then automation testing team activities in a real time. What we do, automation testing team activities in real time. Then some of the major activities in manual testing and automation testing. Finally, scenarios which are suitable for automation testing. So these are the concepts where we are going to discuss in today's session. So if I go for the first thing, software testing, technically we can call it is a combination of verification and validation. Software testing is a combination of verification and validation. What is the major agenda for software testing? To identify the defects. Software testing will help to identify the defects. When those are resolved, then software quality improves. When those are resolved, then software quality improves. Okay. And types of software testing. Nowadays, every organization follows the two kind of approaches to validate the application. And the first one is called manual testing. So we can say in simple like this. Without using any automation tool, test engineer directly interact with application to verify actual behavior while performing operations is called manual testing. Without using any automation tool, test engineer directly interact with application to verify actual behavior while performing operations is called manual testing. But here, when we go for the manual testing, we prepare the test cases which are used to validate the application. test cases prepared, and those are used to validate application. Okay. So we have some advantages when you go for the manual test. Advantages of manual test. It is simple and easy to perform. Not for all projects, but for small projects. Less cost compared to automation testing for small projects. For small projects. But same we have some disadvantages, right? When you go for the automation testing. Major disadvantage will be time consuming, more time it's going to take. Inconsistency, because as a human, there may be a repetition of the task, you may not go on to focus every time 100%. So that is also a problem here. There is an inconsistency. Then lack of reliability. Lack of reliability. That means possibility of the human mistakes. Okay. These are the disadvantages are there when you go for the manual testing. What is the second possibility? Automation testing. Right. Automation testing. Automation testing. What is automation testing? Generally, remember that any task or activity performed with the help of tool or programs is called automation. Any activity you performed with the help of the tool or programs is called automation. Example, if you use calculator to perform arithmetic operations, that is comes under automation. If you use calculator to perform arithmetic operations, it's called automation. Such a way, automating human activities. That means my here test execution. During the manual test cases execution time, whichever activities you are going to perform, those automating human activity, the test execution, in order to validate application is called automation testing. Whereas automation testing can be performed in different ways. Automation testing can be performed using programming languages. Like they can use the directly C# or using scripting languages like parallel script also they can use. They can use parallel script. But here, directly using programming or scripting language, it will be difficult. Suppose you have some programming knowledge. You have programming knowledge. Now I ask you to do the multiplication by giving the calculator. Are you going to use calculator or are you going to write the program? If you have the calculator in your hand, you are going to use the calculator only instead of writing the program. Such a way, to do testing, they introduce some tools for automation testing, right? So even the possibilities are there like this, but generally we are going to prefer the tools, some third-party automation tools. Some third-party automation tools we are going to use, like we have the Selenium, Tosca, EFT, Test Complete, Test Partner, Windrunner, Silk Rational Robot. Like this, we have the different kind of tools are available. They can use any one of the tool for automation testing. But whenever we go for the automation testing, we need to develop automation test script. We have to develop. We have developed the automation test script. Okay. Sir, what are the advantages are there if I go for the automation testing? By default, what are the disadvantages we said during the manual testing? Those we can overcome here. That means execution, fast in execution, more consistency. That means tools means there is no tiredness. So always tool will give the same attention to test the application. More reliable. That means we can avoid the human mistakes. About this, the other advantages are automation scripts are reusable. Reusable. That means one time you have to give the efforts to develop the automation test script. You have to give only one time efforts. Then same script we can use on different versions of the application. Once you develop the automation tester script, you can use that script on different versions of the application. Same script for versions of application. Same way, automation scripts are repeatable. That means you can able to execute n number of times. There is no limitation for that. Okay, these are the advantages of the automation testing. But similarly, we have some disadvantages also. Yes. Everyone is clear? Everyone able to follow? Say yes or no in the chat box. Yes, automation testing. Yesterday I given the content. I said we are going to discuss about the Jenkins continuous integration to Jenkins. We are going to discuss how we can set the periodical execution in Jenkins. So someone is asking about the CI tool. Okay, disadvantages of the automation testing. first thing, tools are expensive, right? If we want to use any commercial automation tool for our project, we need to buy the license to use those kind of tools, right? No? Tools are expensive. Tools are expensive. Next, skilled automation testing units are required. Automation test units are required. If I want to go for the some free tools, those are not ready-made tools to get one setup file to install. Different things we have to download from the different areas. Altogether, we have to configure. There is a skilled automation testings are required if you go for the so automation testing. Then some technologies are not possible to automate. Example, reading captcha is not possible. Handling security pop-ups not possible to automate. Color object identification is not possible to automate. Okay. So these are the advantages, disadvantages of the manual testing and automation testing. Okay. Next, project selection criteria for automation testing. How to decide what type of projects we can go for the automation testing. So generally, every project is not preferred for the automation testing. So whereas test manager who is responsible to decide whether project is suitable or not for automation testing. So what are the factors he is going to analyze to decide whether project is suitable or not for automation testing? So general test manager is responsible to decide project for automation testing by analyzing following factors. So what are the factors they have to analyze? First thing, they have to see size of the project. Size of the project. Size of the project means, remember that, not based on the number of users using the application, not based on number of users using the application. So number of functionalities availability. Number of functionalities. That is the size of the project will be decided. How many functionalities are there in the application? That is the function point analysis we are going to call. How many functionalities are there? The second one, more resource required for a project. So there is a, when we go for manual testing, more number of testings are required for a project. Then expecting multiple releases for a project. Expecting multiple releases for a project. So every release, they have to go for testing, means again, more time taking it is. Application environment should support tools for automation testing. Next thing, client accepted in terms of budget. That is also important in terms of budget. Client is accepted in terms of budget. Okay. So these are the factors are going to be analyzed. Based on that, they decide, yes, this project we can prefer for the automation testing or not. So mainly, how many functionalities are there? How much resource required if I go for manual testing? How much time it going to takes? So this multiple releases are expecting. So this based on this factor, they are going to decide. Then here, so whereas some of the functionality testing tools, when you go types of functionality testing tools, there are two categories. One is called commercial tools. Other one is called non-commercial tools. Commercial tools are there, non-commercial tools also there. Non-commercial means free tools. No need to buy the license. If commercial tools means you have to buy the license. Okay, two categories. In this commercial tools, we have the QTP or EFT, Tosca, Test Complete, QA Run, Playwriter. These are the different tools are available. If I go for the non-commercial tools, we have the Selenium, is the one of the tool. We have the Auto IT tool. We have the Circulate tool is there. Then we have the Sahi is there. Like this. The different kind of tools are available, free tools. Okay. Now, when we have this many tools are there, how to decide which tool we can go for the automation testing? That we have to do automation tool selection criteria. How we can decide which tool we can go for the automation testing? Who is going to decide it is? Which tool we can go for automation testing? Who is going to decide? Again, it is your manager responsible for that. Test manager is the responsible. So what factors they are going to analyze? By analyzing following factors, test manager will select tool for automation testing. By analyzing, so following factors, test manager will decide or select the tool for automation testing. So what are the factors? First one is type of tool. That means here, type of tool means here, how much budget allocated for testing. In that budget, which tool is the benefit for us? So that means we can go for the commercial tool or non-commercial tool, which is more benefit for us. That is a return on investment we are going to call. Return on investment. It is going to be considered commercial tool or non-commercial tool. Commercial tool or non-commercial tool. The second thing they have to see, usability of the tool. Usability of the tool. Usability testing we discussed. User friendliness. Usability of the tool. That means how easy to work with the tool. Okay. So things to be considered like this. Tool can generate automation scripts automatically without writing the script. That means some tools have the recording option. Some tools have the drag and drop option. By using a drag and drop option or by using recording, tools are going to generate the automation test script. No need to write the manually. Okay, if suppose I don't want to use these things, recording options. Now, is it to develop the script manually? I want to write the script manually. Is it easier or not? Ease of script execution. Once I developed scripts, is it easier to execute my scripts? We have to say it is. Ease of script execution. Next. After execution, will tool provides test result in desired format or not? Easy understandable way the result is providing or not. We have to check it is. That is the after execution, will tool provides test results in the desired format or not? The other things. Then compatibility of tool. Here supported application environment. Supported application environment means Windows or web-based or mobile applications. Supports are not. Then supported browsers. So Edge browser, Firefox browser, Chrome browser supports are not. Then supported operating systems, Windows, Mac OS, Linux. See, these are the factors are going to be analyzed based on that they decide which tool we can prefer for the automation testing. Right. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Any doubts ma here so far?
No.
Okay. Now, so generally, if I go for the automation testing, so the team will going to be there. Who are the members in automation testing team? Team members. You'll have the test manager. Then there will be automation. Architect will be there. You will have the test lead. Then automation test engineers are going to be there. Generally, if I go for the automation testing team members, then the members are going to be involved. So, what type of activities these members are going to do in automation testing team? So, that is the next concept we are going to discuss here. Automation testing process. Team activities are going to following are the activities performed by automation testing team members. Automation team members in real time. First stage, once they decided to do the automation testing, the activity will be tool evaluation by our test manager. The first thing, once they decided to do automation testing, they have to go for the tool evaluation by test manager. Then second stage by test lead. What he will do, analyze test cases. So what is that analyze the test cases here? Test cases are going to be analyzed here to know that which test cases are more repeatable, which test cases are taking the more time when you go for manual testing. This is going to be analyzed. Which test cases are going to take more time and which are more repeatable. After that, prepare analysis sheet. So about the time, efforts required, resource required, that sheet is going to prepare. Then estimating script development time. Now those scenarios, if I want to go for the automation testing, we have to develop the script. How much time required to develop the automation test script? Send summary sheet for approval. Your test manager tester is going to send and you're going to get the confirmations. Confirmations also you're going to get. There's the test lead activities. Okay. Now scenarios are ready, tool is ready. Then stage 3, what happens here? By automation architect, what he will do, define coding standards. If you want to develop the automation testing, so what are the standards we have to follow in terms of naming convention, comments, indentation? These things are going to be described. After define the coding standards here, then What type of framework we have to follow, that also is going to decide it is. Evaluate the suitable framework. Depends on the tool which you are using and what type of scenarios you are doing automation testing. Based on that, he is going to define the or evaluate the suitable framework. As the automation architect is going to do this activity. After this, after this, we have the stage 4 where we are going to involve by automation testing unit. First, we have to do the implementation. Then we have to go for the execution. Then we have to go for the reporting. Then we have to go for the maintenance. Now, SEMA implementation means develop automation test script as per given test scenarios. What are the scenarios are given? As per those scenarios, we have to develop the automation test script. Develop the automation test script as per given test scenarios. After that, we can go for the dry run. We can go for the execution. One time we can go for the execution. The dry run. Why need of dry run? To confirm whatever scripts you developed, those scripts are going to execute smoothly or not. Your scripts are executing smoothly or not. For that, we can go for the dry run we are going to do. One time we are going to execute. Then we have to go for the review on scripts. That means how many scenarios are given, how many scripts you develop. So all the scenarios are covered or not with the given developed automation test scripts. Then execution. Before in the execution, verify test execution environment setup. So what type of software hardware configure setup is required? That kind of setup is provided or not. First you have to check it is. Network team has to provide, but you have to check it is. Then we can go for the execution of script. Once execution completed, your tool is any tool is going to provide the result. What we have to do? Analyze test result. We have to analyze the test result. Then we can go for the reporting defects. So like this, the maintenance means if customer send any changes in the application, if we do modification, type of modification, but you have to go for the maintenance. That is, if suppose required, new functionalities need to be added. So then we have to do the enhancement. 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 Add new scripts here or update scripts as per a new change request. Change request. Here means change request. So these are the activities for automation testing team will do for any project while doing automation testing. Right. So in this introduction to automation testing, so far what are the concepts we discussed? What is software testing? What is manual and automation testing? Then project selection criteria for automation testing. project selection criteria for automation testing, automation tool selection criteria, which tool, how they can decide. Then automation testing team activities in real time. And also automation process I explained. Then scenarios, then some of the major activities in manual testing and automation testing. Some of the major activities during the manual testing and automation testing. If I go for the SIMA, if I go for the manual testing, what are the major activities we do? First, we have to identify test scenarios. Identify test scenarios. Based on the scenarios, prepare test cases and test data. We have to prepare the test cases and test data. Then we can go for the execution of test cases. During the execution time, if you got any deviation, then what we do? Defect reporting. Then make sure those defects has to be resolved by the developers, getting it fixed. These are the major activities we have. If I go for automation testing, identify automation test scenarios. Then we have to develop automation test script. Then execution of test scripts. We have to run it is. Then after your execution is completed, the tool is going to provide the test result, analyze test result. We have to analyze the test result. Then we can go for the defect reporting. Make sure whichever you reported, those has to be resolved by the developers, getting it fixed. These are the major activities are there. Now, the simple question is like this. If you are doing automation testing, okay. So if you go for the automation testing, so testings are required or not for that project. So as it is required, we can't avoid the human resource, even though we are doing automation testing. How it is. So here we have to identify the scenarios. We need to we need to develop the automation test script. After execution, we have to analyze the result. Only during the test cases execution time, what are the activities are going to performed by the testing engineer? Those only activities we are automating. So instead of 10 testing units, I can manage with 3 testers by using the automation tools. But we can't avoid the human resource. Testings are required. Okay. The other point here, when I go for manual testing, I said that we have to identify the test scenarios. When you go for the automation testing, identify automation test scenarios. That means in your project, once you decided to go for automation testing, still we are not going to do the all the scenarios for automation testing. Some of the scenarios only we do automation testing. Some of the scenarios only we can do automation testing. What type of scenarios are preferred for automation testing? In general, the scenarios which are more repeatable and complex to perform manually, those kind of scenarios we are going to prefer for the automation testing. Scenario which are preferable for automation testing. In general, scenarios which are more repeatable and complex to perform manually, those are more suitable for automation testing, such as build verification test scenarios or build verification test scenarios or smoke test scenarios, regression test scenarios, retesting scenarios. Retesting means the scenarios which are required multiple set of data to validate. So this kind of scenarios are preferable for automation testing, more repeatable. But scenarios which are not preferred for automation testing. In general, scenarios which are simple and easy to perform, those we are not going to prefer into the automation testing, such as graphical user interface or user interface test scenarios, like availability of the components or font size, control spelling, those things. Then usability related test scenarios, user friendliness or ease of use of the application. Next, one-time testing activities. Okay. So test cases newly designed not to execute at least once. When you go for the automation, it is a return on investment is negative. When the requirements are continuously changing, this kind of scenarios where we are not going to prefer for automation testing. But in general, okay, so when requirements are changing frequent also, we are not going to prefer. The next thing here, if one project, both teams are going to work, manual testing team as well as automation testing teams, SCTs. So both teams can work. There are some scenarios where we have to only manual testing. Some scenarios we have to go for the automation testing. Okay, both teams can work. But automation testing is not mandatory for every project. Okay. For one project, there can be manual and automation testing teams can work, whereas automation testing is an option for some of the projects. When we can start developing automation test script? In general, automation test script we start once it is passed. So automation test script, once it is passed, so build verification test. That means after receiving stable build, then automation test script is going to be developed. Whereas once requirements are finalized, then test cases we are going to prepare. For test cases you want to prepare, once requirements are baselined or finalized, we can start writing the test cases. See, these are the, even though you are attending only on manual testing interview also, this concept is required. Or you are showing automation testing experience like 4 plus also, this today topics which I explained. So you should know this is what, how the project selection, what type of scenarios we can do, how the activities are going to be. You should aware of that. Okay, ma? So that is the class for us. Once you registered automation testing classes, whoever registered, just give the payment receipt you sent to me so that I will add into the WhatsApp group to share the notes. So this is my WhatsApp number, 89851625. 566. Pranav. My WhatsApp number. Once registration done, you try to send the receipt in the WhatsApp so that I will add you into the group. I will share the notes to you. Okay. So that is the class for us today. Thank you. Is there any doubts for anyone? Let me know if you have any doubts. I will clarify before going to end the session. Okay.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, Soumya cheppandi. Soumya, tell me.
Yeah, sir. Actually, I stay in US, so actually at my time I'm attending the session. So if I have any clarifications after the session, how do I clarify
In WhatsApp, you can give the message to me by
while
sending the
practicing?
screenshot. Yes. By send the screenshot,
Oh
you
yeah,
send the
okay.
WhatsApp, I will go and give the reply.
Actually, yesterday demo I missed it, so today only I'm attending.
Oh,
So
yesterday
where do
just
I
I
get?
given the course content, what topics I'm going to cover.
Oh, okay. So where do I get your WhatsApp number?
Just now I given the notes.
Oh, okay.
This is my WhatsApp number. Got it? Okay. Thank you, everyone. So tomorrow we are going to discuss about the introduction to the Selenium tool. We are going to discuss in tomorrow's session. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow. Bye.